Oi, what's that? New backdrop.
It's a wooden backdrop, mate. Real wood too.
Yeah. Holy shit. Where do you get that from?
I think it was from Amazon.com.
Oh, wow. Didn't know they will deliver wood this big, actually.
Real wood.
Real wood. Real. This is us. Real as how much money I have in my bank account.
Well, we actually thought this was almost going to complete, other than the microphones, complete the podcast setup, right?
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of the wood to wood contrast now.
But it's a problem, I feel, of distance, that we can't separate too much the table from this thing to make this even darker.
Yeah, but we can't do that anyway because it's not wide enough.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Even if we could, we couldn't.
So what are we going to do? Are we going to try and move it and shoot in the other direction and get further away and have blacks on the side?
We might have to either play changing the table to the black one we have, or maybe changing direction.
I think the black table will look.
The black table look mean. I think it's also like less. It has less width, so we might be closer and more in the backdrop.
I love being close to you.
I know. That's what I mean. Roll the intro. How's the good vibe, people? Welcome to another episode of the Good Vibes Theory. If you're new on this platform, my name is Nelson.
And my name's Matty.
And we are committed to share the good vibes with the world.
And what else are we going to do, Nelson?
Motherfucker, you're never learning your part, are you?
I'm taking another avenue there to like sort of segue it back to you to get it correct.
because you forgot about it.
Look, we are inspiring and entertaining one episode at a time.
I mean, you swap it, the words, but still, okay. We're getting there. We're making progress.
It's pretty good.
I bet by episode 10, you should nail it. I'm pretty sure about that. What's been happening? How's your week been?
My week's been... It's pretty full on because we're coming into Black Friday, right? Which is the biggest e-commerce sale there sort of is. And every year it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's an interesting time because the sort of e-commerce world in general has had a huge year because of COVID, right? So everyone's not quite sure. It's like things have been so good. Is Black Friday also going to be good?
It has to.
Or is everyone out of money?
So. Yeah, that's a great question. But I think in countries like this one, I feel like people have so much money, man. Like they don't know what to do with so much money.
I mean, it's coming into the Christmas season, so that's sort of like the point. You have to buy Christmas presents. You wait for Black Friday, you do it. So it sort of doesn't matter if you spent money on other shit before. You still got to buy Christmas presents.
Yeah.
So we launched ours. We launched this sort of a VIP access yesterday, and we had a pretty good response straight away. So we're running 10 days of sales.
Yep.
Very interesting to see how next week goes, but so far so good. Yeah.
A company like yours, how much revenue can you expect in a day like that? I'm so curious.
I'm probably not allowed to say revenue.
Like maybe just give a range somewhere between X and X.
I mean, like a couple 100,000, but I know other companies that I know. There's one brand in particular. It's a woman's cosmetic company. They sell stuff for roughly around about say $60 to $100. So not a super high price, but not cheap shit as well. And the money they spend on advertising on Facebook, so they pay Facebook $300,000 per day.
Holy shit.
So that's their marketing expense, and you'd expect they have to make like a 2x at least. So we're talking $500,000 to $1 million a day. Yeah. But not selling a $2,000 item, selling a $100 item. Imagine how many their warehouse facility is like, just sending shit out nonstop.
Fuck, that's a lot.
And it's not a big brand. It's not like a Mac Chanel type thing. It's something you've never heard of before.
Yeah. And nowadays, from your experience and the kind of work that you do, would you agree that marketing is probably the area in which you, as a business, should be spending most of your money, maybe, or like a good portion of it?
Ah, man, that completely comes back to the model of the business. You see models that do really, really well with different kinds of marketing, or like, I mean, you see all those weird little Facebook ads where they're like, I will teach you how to make 6 figures within 12 months. And their whole thing is you buy some cheap product, so there's no money in research and development, no money in pretty much anything to do with the product. It's not even about the product, and it's 100% about marketing. So if you have a model like that, put all your money into marketing. But then a business like ours, we also have to,
You gotta deliver, of course.
You got to develop product and then do customer service.
Yeah.
And then there's other products like I don't know, say, Supreme, the brand?
Yeah, of course.
They don't run ads, right?
They don't do ads? Well, that's true.
But they don't even...
never seen...
They don't do ads.
Well, they get the marketing from rappers and YouTubers and people placing their products because it's like a high class shit wearing Supreme stuff.
Actually, interesting. This isn't my fact, but this is something I just...
because if you're new here, we introduced this little segment that we're going to do hopefully every episode of Facts Time, but we're going to probably leave it for the very end of every episode. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so Supreme is like one of the OG streetwear brands. It came up in 1994. I want to say New York, or it's definitely American, and they do the craziest stuff. They make exclusive products that they make a couple hundred. Immediately, it sells for more than they sold it for. It's collectors. They make products. They made a brick.
An actual brick.
An actual brick, and the stamp in it.
Real, like a backdrop? Like
a clay brick. It was, I don't know, I think it was like $200-$300 for a brick, and they sell out. Anyway, they sort of made the move into high-end luxury stuff, and they did this whole collaboration range with Louis Vuitton. Did you see any of that?
I probably have seen some of the pieces.
So they made all those Louis Vuitton bags, but they made them red with the Supreme logo.
Yeah.
They made a skateboard, a normal traditional skateboard. It was red with a Louis V Supreme print. It was $40,000.
What the fuck?
Right. So that's the level that Supreme is on. They recently got acquired by the parent company that owns Vans, the North Face, Timberland, and there's one other one I can't remember right now, Dickies. Right. So the company that owns all of that bought Supreme. How much do you think they bought it for?
Holy shit, I don't know, maybe $1 billion?
Yeah, so I think Beats by Dre was acquired for about $1 billion.
$3 billion.
$3 billion, was it?
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
which, by the way, there's a doco on Netflix about that story that everyone should watch. And The Defiance, that's the name of the doco.
Love that.
Wow, so good. Well, so well thought how they told that story, and it's also like such an inspiring thing.
And they got so many like figures in it. I mean, like from Eminem, Dr. Dre, like the people that were in the back end. Jimmy Irvine. Yeah, he's crazy, man.
Oh, he's such a genius. Both of them. Because Beats by Dr. Dre was by Dr. Dre and Jimmy. I can't remember exactly how you pronounce
Irvine.
It
was Jimmy's idea, pretty much.
Yeah,
and he used, because Dre was like, bro, I want a business venture. I'm going to sell sneakers.
Yeah.
And Jimmy's like, you're a musician. You're going to sell speakers, not sneakers. And he came back to him, and then Jimmy managed the what do you call it? The whole record label. So all the artists making music videos were under his control.
Yeah.
So he's like, put these in. Just put them in. Wear these in your thing. Do you want some funding for the next one?
Well, and that's probably like the first time someone had sneaking products within music videos and stuff like that, where they get like that huge product placement that they started, and that's how it became culture. That's how it became a movement. Because
did you see the Olympic thing they did? That was
which one?
So Beats by Dre. The Olympics is very funny about what you can wear, like what sort of endorsements you're allowed to bring in. And Beats by Dre came in and they wanted to target athletes as well. And they made a set of headphones, custom painted, custom the whole works for every single country.
Oh yeah, for the countries. Yeah, I remember that part.
Suddenly every athlete at the Olympics, every figure that's being watched has this headphones, and they change the rules after it.
Yeah, of course, because but it was he's a marketing genius, you know. And then when he started placing the Beats by Dre with rappers and stuff in their music videos, they had no idea what was happening. Like, I can't remember exactly. I think it was Gwen Stefani and like a couple more artists that he came and he was like to the shooting and just be like, hey, just put this thing, just wear this thing. Like, and because they own him favors, because every musician
he's the one writing their budgets for their films.
Yeah, exactly. So they wouldn't question him.
You do what Jimmy says.
Yeah, exactly. So, and after that, everyone was like, holy shit, this is what he was up to, you know?
He was 5 levels above pulling strings.
Yeah, exactly. Chess, man. Chess. Yeah. Like, he was playing like, I just need these famous people. LeBron, he was another one, like a huge one in terms of marketing for athletes. He was like, I just need these huge people to wear them, make them culture, make them cool for people. Because I'm going to be honest, I used to have some beats, and they're shit. They're shit compared to Bose and other brands, Sony. Like, they're not even close to them as comfort. The sound they're able to produce, they're shit. They're just it's like a
brand.
It's just a brand. That's it. And every reviewer that you see on YouTube, like people that actually take the time to be like, okay, let me go to the specs, like the technology in them, to actually give an honest feedback on them. They were like, these are shit. The marketing is just a masterpiece, you know?
Yeah, 100%. And that's sort of, I mean, a Supreme t-shirt, going back to that, people are selling them secondhand for $800. But it's a t-shirt.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't matter what. It's not even a good t-shirt. It's been made for $2 at some stage.
Yeah.
But there's a brand on it. And it's legitimate. Guess how much? So what did we say, 3 billion?
I said like no less than 1 billion or so.
It's 4
billion.
$4 billion.
Yeah.
For a brand that doesn't even have a website that you can go on and buy stuff.
Yeah, I was going to say, how many physical stores do they have and shit?
I think they have like flagship stores, or maybe they do pop-ups. I feel like they did that.
That's insane.
Yeah. I feel like I've seen
like, it's not something that you'll find everywhere, like Nike or like, you know?
Yeah. So how do you monetize it?
Once you make something culture, man, and you make people, you sort of plant these seeds, because it's just a belief they install in people's heads, like being like, hey, we are for high class. So if you want to belong to this group of people, you got to buy our shit and wear it, you know, like.
Yeah, I get it. How hard?
Because we decide, as we are the market, and we are the ones that decided, like, yeah, that shirt cost $800 or that skateboard is $40,000. And, you know, if we manage to buy some of their stuff, we belong to the high class people. We are the ones that decide.
It's all hype culture. But then imagine running that brand. How scary would it be to fuck with that image? Because, like, say they acquire for $4 billion, they have to make money, right? So even if they do the Louis Vuitton thing and they're selling bags for $50,000, there's a lot of 50,000s inside $4 billion, right? So you might have to do more collaborations like that, but you can't water the brand down because that's where all the worth is. Mm-hmm. So they can't suddenly turn around and be like, oh, we need to sell 500,000 t-shirts this year. Let's do like a cheap run and put it in here to sell more. No, they can't do that. Yeah. So I wonder exactly how they generate that money back?
I think that there will always be high class people that have those basic needs of I need to feel like I belong to these high class people and I need to, you know, wear this stuff in order to, you know.
So is that their thing? They're
be in the tribe.
We're going to keep it very exclusive, but we're not going to make our money back for the next 15 years. But after that,
I feel like we underestimate how many people out there have the money and the willingness.
But they don't sell. That's the point. It's limited. You can't actually go and buy one of these things most of the time. You can't go onto Supreme.com and give them $5,000 for a jacket because it's not available.
Also, imagine, because this happens all the time, like rappers and famous people going to these massive brands like Louis Vuitton, Supreme, and ask for custom shit. Like, we're just taking into account whatever they made for whatever they're planning to sell. But imagine how much money they will charge for just one person to come and, hey, I want a custom jacket and I need it for next week because I'm shooting a music video.
I mean, yeah,
like
maybe,
Justin Bieber.
But even then, what is it? $500,000 for a jacket? You still have to do that a lot of times to get to 4 billion.
yeah.
I don't know. It's just interesting the level they're on. I know. I forget one of the brands. It's like Chanel or one of those really classy French brands. I think 80% of all their stuff, they make handbags and that, it gets sold in Japan and China. Some wealthy fucking Asians, and they love the culture. It's a status symbol, and they just buy these thousands and thousands of dollars worth of stuff all the time. So maybe that's like the revenue stream that keeps it afloat.
That's so interesting, right? Like how we decide some things become the culture. Like, and I'm thinking a lot about Michael Jordan. Do you watch the documentary, which is also one of the best documentaries I've ever seen?
Yeah, I didn't get through it all yet.
Oh, yeah. Dude, the way they market like the Jordans, it's insane. It's insane that it all became part of the culture. Everyone wanted to have some Jordans when Michael was, you know, playing and stuff because he was the biggest athlete at some point in the world. It has happened with Dre as well, with Supreme, all these things, like how they shape the culture. Yeah, in Nike, in this just one brand, you know, and someone that decided to be like, hey, I have something that is different and is gonna somehow change how the world operates. That's insane. That all came, huh?
Kanye.
Yeah, Kanye as well. Yeah. Like with his fucking shoes, you know, this religious dude. But yeah, it's just very interesting to me. Fun fact. This is 180 because it has nothing to do with
Is it your fun fact? Is
no,
it
no.
fact?
This is an extra fun fact.
So we give one additional and one real one.
yeah. Like yesterday I went for a sunset skate, really, with my boy Django, our dog. And I just happened to run into the surfer that grabbed my ass.
Did you really?
And he was on an electric skateboard as well, an Evolve. Can you imagine that?
Bro, we'll
I don't know if he saw me. I just realized it was him as I was going down. I was like, I know this motherfucker. This is the one that grabbed my ass.
And he was on a skateboard.
He was on an electric skateboard. It seems like he was sort of trying it, kind of thing. Yeah, I just thought, like, what are the fucking odds? I'm gonna see this dude many times around here.
You should have just gone up and slashed him and then clawed him in the face with Django's
I should have told Django, kill him.
Kill. He's a vicious dog.
Can you imagine? Matt constantly comes home, and when someone comes to the house, he's like, kill. And Django's just like playful.
Well, Django does run towards people quite quickly because he's excited and wants cuddles. But while he's running, if you yell kill, they freak out a little bit. Like sometimes people are like, whoa.
Yeah, oh, calm down. But can you imagine if I tell him, like, not expecting that he will do it, like, kill, and he actually goes and kills the surfer that grabbed my ass?
Well, that serves him right.
Yeah.
Serves him right.
I'll be like, that was well deserved. I'm giving a 3 to Django.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into it. What else do we have? What are we doing?
Well, I was thinking about something that I was talking on my Spanish podcast, actually, that might be a little bit useful for other humans. And I remember another story which will be suitable to attach to it. Just before moving to the house, you remember I came to visit you, you showed me the place, and you were I asked, like, hey, who's living here? And you were like, you, like, kind of joking and stuff and already pushing the idea. In the end, like, we already sort of talk about it, but you offer, like, hey, if you want to move in, you can do it, but you gotta give me an answer in a week. That day I come back to Brisbane, I'm just thinking about it. I'm like, fuck, should I do it? Like, I don't know. Yeah, it'll be exciting to live with Matty, but right now I don't have much money, all these things. How am I gonna commit to pay this rent? All these things, right? Then next day I'm like, yeah, fuck it, I'm doing this. I'm sorting everything out in Brisbane. I'm telling a couple of my really good friends, and then I call one of them, right, a really good friend of mine, and then I was like, dude, Matty, he offered me this thing to live with him, his wife, the dog, and the granny flower, like, down the house. And, like, it's such a great deal, and I'm gonna be living with one of my best friends, all these things, like, I'm really excited. And he's like, look, bro, don't get me wrong, I'm excited for you, but just think it through, man, because, like, what if they're doing this? Because, I explained, like, hey, he's actually making the rent cheaper for me, and to help me fund it, because he knows I'm pursuing this crazy dream of making videos, all this shit. And he's like, dude, I don't know, man, what if they're doing it with other intentions? And I'm like, man, I know him. I don't know him that much, but I'm pretty sure he just wants to help me. and then he's like, bro, you sound like a kid that is just excited and stuff. But look, man, there's a lot of weird shit happening out there nowadays. What if they just want to use you to get sex? Like,
I have a strange sexual fetish. I want a South American in my basement. That's what the truth is.
I'm being 100% real.
Yeah?
This is real shit. He's no joking. He's no joking. He's like, dude, what if they, and he doesn't like threesomes. He doesn't like open relationships, that kind of subjects, right? So he's telling me all this, like, dude, what if they actually expect you to have sex with them? Or maybe, like, Matty has this weird thing that he likes his wife being fucked by someone else, or like, what, like,
you'd be like, oh, that'd be okay.
And so he starts telling me all this shit, like, dude, just think it through, because what if you move in and then you gotta somehow, you feel committed that you gotta say yes to whatever they ask you to do in terms of, like weird sex shit or something like that.
Can you give me a hand job after this?
Yeah, and then I'm going through my, like, as he's talking, I'm just thinking about everything. I'm like, holy shit, I didn't think about this. What if they actually want to use me as a sex slave or something like that? Like, that's very common nowadays. And then I'm just like, yeah, I'm down for that. Matty Beck, yeah, I'm definitely down for that.
That's an experience. You'd be down for that as long as you didn't have to bend over for me. Because that would
look,
hurt.
you two are very good-looking humans. If there is someone on this planet that I will bend for, it'll probably be you, Matthew.
Thanks, mate. I'm very much. That's pretty funny. I don't think that's
I swear he was being real. Like, he was being real, and the reason
was he Venezuelan?
I can't tell you, man. You're trying to figure out too much shit. But like, he was being real, and the reason. Then I find out, I'm like, there has to be a reason why he's just telling me all this, right? something is bothering him. And then as I'm talking to it, it turns out that he was having a party, and then he had some friends over, and turns out another friend of his has like sort of like an open relationship, and he like that couple was trying to fuck the girl of one of his mates. Like they were coaxing her and stuff, trying to be like, hey, you know, we should do this. And then the boyfriend of that girl wasn't like, he was like, oh, whatever, just do whatever you want to do kind of thing. But it bothered him.
It bothered the
which
guy
had
that wasn't
nothing to do with either of the couples, which is really funny to me, you know. But he was like, yeah, man, like you can't be doing that. I can't invite you to a party and then you're just trying to fuck my mate's girlfriend. And I asked him, like, I'm just listening to him, and I'm like, wait, but did your friend had a problem with him? He was like, not really. Like I'm like, so then why are you getting mad? He's like, because you can't be doing that. And he's
no
just
reason
really bothered.
though. He didn't have a reason.
He didn't have like a clear reason for it.
But if you had no exposure to it at all, you sort of understand why. If there's something that you have ingrained into you that gets in front of you and it's confronting, you instantly get on the back foot.
Mm-hmm.
But he should be able to sort
it's
of
something that's challenging his beliefs.
His beliefs, yeah, like
which we talk on other episodes.
So it doesn't align with what he assumes is right.
Yeah,
but he should be able to sit down and work through it in his head and be like, well, if he's okay with it and she's okay with it, and I mean, I wouldn't do it, but you do you. Like,
yeah, exactly.
He should be able to do that in hindsight. But maybe it's like such a deep thing inside him.
Like, like who knows? Maybe there's something even deeper that really bothers him about it. But I just found it so interesting.
It's strange that that was his first response. It's like, hey, I got a new place to live. They're gonna fuck you.
Yeah.
That's a weird response.
Yeah. And then it sounded obviously kind of funny to me, but I thought he was joking at first, but then I realized, oh no, he's being serious. Like he's like, look, man, I don't know, just be sure what you're doing, because I don't think it's that good of an idea and stuff, you know. And then, I was like, I'm willing to take those risks.
You can message him and tell him you haven't been deflowered yet.
Yeah, can you imagine if like first day you just come down, the two of you, and I'm like, yeah, so what do you guys want now?
I just start taking my shirt off.
Yeah.
Come here.
I'll be like, holy fuck, he was right. Yeah, it's happening.
My little Latino man.
Hey, Nelson, can you stay here with Beg? And, just have fun.
Just have fun. It's actually turned out to be like, hey, can you walk the dog? Please?
Yeah, can you imagine if you like weird shit done by the dog?
Ah, yeah.
Oh,
no, we're not talking about that on YouTube.
We're not taking it to that
Next
place.
topic. Give me a fun fact.
I'm gonna explain why this is related to the topic I wanted to bring. So why I'm bringing this is because it reminded me of how a lot of people let other people perspectives be planted in their heads about situations. So let me try to break it down. When I was studying dentistry back home, we have this thing on your final year where you can go and serve an indigenous community, right? But it's not something for everyone, and it's not something that is easy to get. You need to sort of apply for it, you get an interview, and then they decide like, yeah, he's someone that will suit the role, because it's something that is very challenging. You go like to the middle of the Amazon and stuff like that to live with an indigenous community for 3 months. You just do it with one partner, and usually sometimes they can send like 4 of you, and that's it. So you got to be able to perform and do whatever is required to do, and you won't have like a superior or someone that can help you the way you used to at uni.
are you there to do dental things?
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
there
okay.
to do dental things and obviously to get involved with the community and do all the things, but like you're doing your dental work there. So you have different communities, right? And you have obviously the popular ones that everyone's talking about because you're in the middle of the Amazon. You're gonna be there 3 months, so you're gonna be able to see some cool shit, like the waterfalls, one of the like the most amazing rainforests. Depending on the community, you have different things to do, and then like some of them are not as well known or as popular. Turns out that to me, like on my body, they told us like, hey, you guys are going to Uriman. Uriman turned out to be the less popular one, and actually one that they had to close because people never wanted to go because their experiences there weren't that pleasant, and everyone came back and just be like, oh, we didn't like it, we had so much trouble for different reasons. And when because it's sort of like a lottery thing, but ours was chosen because they were like, oh, you are the only two males in kind of like a partner thing. Everyone else was either two girls or a boy and a girl. So we'd rather send you guys to Uriman. And then like at first I was like, oh, I haven't even heard of it. And then we sort of asked to people from years ago, the last time they went, and they were all like, oh man, definitely don't do it, don't go, like already planting the seed of their own perspective in our head of being like, yeah, my experience there was shit. If I were you, I would just not do it and stuff. And we could have easily backed down from it. Like we could be like, hey, we actually thought about it and we'd rather not do it. But then I told my mates like, hey, let's just go and find out by ourselves what happens, And what I'm trying to bring with all of this is that after the 3 months, it turned out to be one of the best experiences of my life, living with that indigenous community. The things that I got to learn from them, the things that I got to do in order, like the things that I gave and not sort of expected or receive anything other than gratitude, and the places I got to see while being there just because of building the relationships, which we talk about in previous episodes, building a good relationship with the community. They wanted to take us to see like the amazing places that they had all around. Like we got to live experiences that like most people will never have in their lives. And it actually made me mature a lot in such a short period of time and understand that we don't really need much to be happy after you live for so long with an indigenous community that doesn't really have much. So it was sort of like coming back to what happened with my mate, of him trying to plant that perspective on my head of being like, hey, that's not gonna be a good idea for you, all these things. So I just thought like it will be good for everyone if you are getting negative feedback or the perspective of someone else in regards of a decision you gotta make in your life, whether it's like a new job you're gonna get in and then some old worker is telling you like, oh, don't work there, like that's a shitty place, or maybe you're about to get into a relationship with someone and an ex-boyfriend comes to you, which has also happened to me in the past, and be like, yeah, don't get in a relationship with her, she's crazy bitch, all these things. Like a friend building a friend, you just met someone that you think is really awesome, and then someone tells you like, oh yeah, he's just like that at the beginning, then he'll be like a piece of shit. Just find out for yourself.
Well, that sort of links into what we spoke about a couple episodes ago, when it's you're taking in information, and you're looking at it from where is that information source coming from, and then using it to make up your own mind. We spoke about bias and a whole bunch of stuff like that. So that's essentially how is other people's bias affecting your thought patterns, and how are you processing that information to make up a decision for your own. So that was awesome that your I guess your experience with the community was good. Could you see the aspects of what they were talking about? Was there things that were like, oh, that's not great, but did you see the stuff they were talking about, but look at it with a different perspective, or did you not experience the things that they experienced?
I think the key to that moment and the way I try to approach everything in my life is just keeping an open mind. Going in with an open mind. Yeah, so like you got to take feedback. You can't be, if someone tells you like, hey, 10 people got murdered in that alley, you better not walk there. I mean, you know, like you got to take the feedback, and because otherwise you might get into trouble depending on what we're talking about. But just try to keep an open mind in any area of your life. And then what they told me that was bad, I did see the things they told me. It wasn't a lie what they say. It was just that I decided to take it differently than the way they took it in. Because it's not about what's happening, it's about how you interpret what's happening, right?
Yeah, perspective.
So exactly. So if they think like, hey, there's nothing to do around here in Uriman and stuff, I'm just gonna do my dental work because this is like the most boring community that they could have given to me and stuff, I would be like, holy shit, there's not much to do in here. So I better build relationships, because I bet the local people in here, if we build a great relationship, they will want me to experience what's good in their community. And that's what happened.
That's what I wanted to know.
Yeah.
So like, it's definitely going into it with an open mind.
Yeah.
And actually, perhaps the people weren't as receptive, but your perspective on the whole situation made you push through, build relationships, and then it bore fruit on the other end.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it's a summary of a lot of things that we've been talking about in the past episodes, like keep an open mind, focus on building relationships, don't pay attention to the perspective. It's not that you don't pay attention. Just don't believe everything you've been told. Just keep an open mind. Take some feedback in that is useful to the decision you're about to make, but keep an open mind in order to find for yourself if it's good or a bad experience for you. Because like I said, to me, it was a life-changing moment. For that person, it was just one of the worst things she could have ever done, because she had to stay there for 3 months. Once you get in, there's no like, hey guys, I just want him back down now. You know, like
you're lucky it panned out as well, because I've done things where people have repeatedly told me not to do it, and I've had exactly the same thought process that you went through, and at the end of it, I'm like, damn, should have listened.
Yeah, and also like what I'm saying doesn't mean that if you approach this way, everything in life, everything turned out well. Like that, obviously not. Of course not. There will be some things that you'll be like, yep, they were right. Like this is shit, or you know, like this person is a piece of shit, or why did I get into this relationship when they told me she will do this, whatever. You know, but just find out by yourself. That's the best way to do it, because also we're all unique. We're all different. So you can give the same situation, the same exact scenario to Matty, and you can give it to someone that is very negative, that has a really bad energy, that doesn't interact too much with people, that don't believe in building relationships. And then their experiences from the same exact place, the same exact people, the same exact resources will be completely different just because of the way you decide to approach it. So it's all within your hands and how you take it in. And like I said, sometimes it'll be exactly how they told you. But sometimes, most of the times, I would say, it'll be better than what you've been told. So just keep an open mind whenever you're approaching a new decision. Take feedback in, but don't be afraid. Push through, because I feel like that's when fear also becomes a thing for people when it comes to decision making for certain situations. So just push through. And then if it wasn't for you, if it wasn't what you expected, that's fine. But you find out. You put the effort to find out.
Sounds good.
Thanks, man. Just wanted to try to provide a little value in there.
Well, I mean, it's a life lesson for the good vibes people. The good vibers.
Because we talk about
the vibrators.
the good vibes theory.
Well, how are we doing on the old time there?
We still have
Okay.
quite a bit of time.
Man, I forgot to write all my points down, so I'm trying to like remember what they were. And
I can see on your eyes be like, holy shit, Nelson, I'm fucking lost and I don't know what subject to bring in.
I forgot.
But
I'm just
need to worry, mate, because I'm here to save your fucking ass for not having your points.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah.
Let's just jump into my fun fact though.
Wait, because I want to drop something before I fucking forget this. Kid Laroi. Do you know him? Have you heard of him?
Who?
Kid Laroi? The Kid Laroi?
No.
You're fucking kidding me.
What does he do?
He is one of the biggest Aussies rappers at the moment. The Kid Laroi. You want to know why he's called the Kid Laroi?
No.
Because he's fucking 16.
He's a rapper.
You have heard his songs. I bet my ass.
He's not one of the biggest, so surely.
One of the biggest in Australia for sure right now, and he's going quite viral in America right now as well. Because
there's a new wave of Aussie hip hop coming up, and it's sort of following the grime UK rap scene, where they're finally developing a bit of traction, doing their own style. Whereas before it was like Aussie hip hop was really core, and it was only in Australia, and no one else gave a shit about it. So if he is doing well, I can fully understand like what he sounds like.
Well, he doesn't like. You will never guess he's Australian if you hear him singing.
The Kid Laroi.
The Kid Laroi. I'm gonna show you later a couple of his songs, but he's super popular right now. And big part of that, I heard a podcast of him, and he's mind blowing to me that he's getting all this fame, all this money, all these opportunities, all these connections at fucking 16 years old. What can you predict on that, man? Like, if you hand a kid of 16 all these things, like, there's a great chance, because I heard how he acts, the people he's seeing, the things that he's doing, how he's getting smashed, all the pussy he's getting, he talk about all of that. And I'm just like, holy fuck, what are like the chances of this kid getting rotten or, actually fucked?
It's pretty much inevitable, to be honest. I can't speak exactly on him because I don't know who he is, but Australian rappers in general don't get paid much.
Well, he's living in America,
I can't speak on him, but I know there's a whole new range of guys out there that they're making money, they're doing a lot of shows and stuff like that when COVID's not on. But for it to happen to you at 16, what was your journey to get there? If he's genuinely come from I assume he's rapping about the parties in the streets and all that.
Well,
crap.
He raps. A lot of his songs has to do with I feel like love and stuff like that. It seems like he comes from a family that doesn't really have much, from what I heard.
Typically, that's where rappers
like a difficult environment. It feels like.
Yeah, they rap about the difficult environment. Then they do the whole brag thing about the drugs and the women and the partying.
Classic, yes.
Yeah, that's standard, and they do that. But is that an image they're portraying, and they're actually dedicated to a craft, or are they doing a bit of both? But you can't be smashing drugs at 16 years old, and he doesn't know business. He doesn't know anything. Does he have a manager that's actually putting all this shit together for him?
Most likely, yeah.
Probably.
Like at 16, bro, I was like, holy shit, this kid is doing these things and receiving all this at 16. At 16, I was jerking off in my room. I don't...
But let's say he can't have come up any longer than 12 months ago.
No,
He's probably been
it's
rapping for
probably
6
like
months.
in 6 months or something. He's becoming quite popular because he made his like genius thing, which the TikTokers that have been taking on the world in the past year.
So
There's one of them which I think you actually got in touch with her, or you sort of were talking with her, and Addison Rae.
I was talking to her manager.
Yeah, she's top 3 TikTokers in the world. Millions of followers and on every platform.
What a brag.
Yeah.
I'm the best TikToker.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you something funny as well. But he made a song talking about her, about how she was a bad bitch or something, and thing went nuts viral. But his music is great, man. Like
I mean, there's a lot of people with great
music. It's really good.
There's so many people doing that. So many people making good music, saying good stuff. It all comes down to sort of the image of the person doing it, and then the marketing, the channels it goes from. You don't typically make a great deal of money out of going viral. Like, if he's got that one song that blew, that can get him in a position to where he can then monetize. He's not going to make... I mean, he might get brand deals and stuff and get 5,000 here, 20,000 here. It's not going to buy him a house, and if he burns out by the time he's 18, he's going to end up in the same position we were when we were 20, going, what the fuck am I going to do with life?
I'm 27. I'm still figuring so much shit out.
I'm not. I got a house. I got a Venezuelan sex slave.
yeah. You're pretty much.
I'm all sorted.
All sorted. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, when it comes to being famous and a 16-year-old, it's very difficult to deal with that, and it's about how you got to that position and the team you have behind you.
Yeah, I think he's super talented. I think he has the opportunity to be mentored by the biggest rappers in the world.
How many followers does he have on the gram?
Over a mil.
Over a mil?
Yeah.
I don't know how I don't know this kid.
Yeah, I'm curious. How do you know? You don't know about him, but anyways, my biggest concern is that he's too young, man, for all these things. How do you learn at 16 to deal with all these things? Well,
Bieber blew when he was 13, 14.
Yeah, which is another case. And Miley Cyrus as well. And I've heard the conversations of them talking, and they were like, that fucked me up, you know. Like,
the team they had behind them, though, made it.
Yeah.
And it's not like they didn't have
milked them.
They milked them, but they kept them afloat. They kept them in check.
Well, if you did you listen to the Joe Rogan Miley Cyrus podcast?
Yeah.
Well, she said like no one actually told her to be like, hey, we need to take care of your boys. Hey, we need you to take some rest. Like they were all being like, oh, this is a cash cow. You know, let's just fucking milk it to the very end. Push her. Yeah, just be like, no, she's young. She can do this. And now her voice is completely fucked. She had to go through surgery, all these things. You know, same for Bieber. He was like...
I mean, they push him hard, but they do keep him in check because they don't want to kill the kid.
Well,
right? How many rappers die? A lot, because they don't have that. I mean, Juice WRLD died at 22.
Yeah, he was super young.
He was blowing hard, but he didn't have anyone behind him.
But because after 21, you can make your own decisions and stuff. But before that, you're pretty much in full, like, they control you, you know. Like,
but what's this dude's gram? I need to see him.
Kid Laroi. The Kid Laroi. Boom. 1.5.
That's strange. I thought I'd recognize him when I seen him, but no.
No, you'll probably recognize his music, though.
Probably. Well, we'll get there another time.
Yeah. Talking about famous personalities, who would you say is right now the biggest Aussie personality that most people know?
There's only one.
Who is it?
It's Chris Hemsworth.
What if I tell you I have a friend that's run into him twice in the past couple of weeks?
Kiani got a coffee behind him the other day, the admin chick at work.
What?
Yeah.
Is it that common?
Yeah. Like, I know multiple... Beck saw him at the hospital one time.
What?
I think because he's such like a cool character, but he's not pretentious, he's not showy, he doesn't feel too bad about going out in the real world, and people sort of give him a bit of respect.
Yeah.
Right? And I guess if if you're not like a hidden character, no one's going to get $10,000 for a photo of you because you're out all the time. So you're not going to have the paparazzi going nuts.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I was going to say, like, is it normal then that when he goes out, people just be like, oh, yeah, there's store in there. He's just having a coffee. And then he will go back to his other planet or whatever.
I think, like, obviously there's always going to be people turning their heads, whispering, going, it's him, it's him, it's him.
Yeah.
You know, he's probably got people coming up trying to shake his hand and get photos. But I think he's just a cool enough character to accept fame. That's what's going to happen. And yeah.
What would you do if you run into him? If we go out this afternoon to the grocery shopping and then we actually run into him in the aisle, just buying bread.
No, like,
would you say something to that?
No, I'd if we caught the eye contact, I'd give him a head nod. Like, I think that's a man to man. Like, I appreciate what you do. You're very successful. Also appreciate that I'm not going to fangirl over you right now. Because this happens not to his level. He's super, super famous, but
he has all, like, everyone knows who's Storm.
Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, when I have to deal with some of these people, like influencers and stuff like that, man, they're all normal. Like, they're all pretty
they're
normal.
all humans.
So I think prolonged exposure to people that are popular sort of gets you over the fangirl thing.
Yeah.
As well as, are you a fangirl to that particular person? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not going to freak out just because he's famous. If I met someone that was genuinely an inspiration to myself, that'd be a little bit harder to deal with. But there's not many of those people. Like, there's not many people that I would freak out.
Well, I'm pretty sure I'll be surprised. I'll be like, holy shit, that's the real tour in my head kind of thing. But most likely, I wouldn't ask for a photo. For sure, I wouldn't ask for a photo or any of that.
No.
Like, I don't picture myself. I'm definitely not that kind of human. I wonder if I would be, depending on the situation, just do some sort of like funny approach to him, just to be like, hey, yeah. But yeah, like, because it already happened to me. You know this with Sam Calder, one of my biggest, inspirations.
I think it's different.
Yeah,
because,
for sure.
Yes, Chris is way bigger than Sam, but Sam plays more of an influence in your life.
Exactly right.
That's what I was trying to get at.
Given that to your point, that I already been into the position of meeting one of my biggest inspirations, and I was just calm and collected. I was super excited inside, but
But you approached.
Yeah, and I approached and stuff. Yeah.
Let's go next one down the line from Chris. I don't know. Let's go a couple down. Say Ruby Rose.
Who the fuck is Ruby Rose?
You know Ruby Rose? She's so famous.
Wait, like the Kid Laroi, motherfucker. You don't know the Kid Laroi.
She is way more famous than that. Kid Laroi is going to be nothing in 2 years.
Hey, don't talk about that, about the Kid Laroi. He's probably listening to this and be like, oh, boys, I wanted to go to a podcast,
I was gonna come
Matty
on.
just fucked it up.
He's 16. We'd have to get his parents to sign a consent form.
Can you imagine? Hey, Leroy, you should come to the podcast. He's like, oh, can you send like this little form for my parents to sing?
It's rough. But no, back to my point. So, say Ruby Rose. Yeah. She's a very famous actor, musician.
I'll probably have seen her.
She's
show me
she's
like
like super. She's like very lesbian-y type chick. Short hair, tattoos. She looks sort of like what Bieber looked like at 15.
Okay.
So she's good looking.
Okay.
But if you met her out and someone was like, that's Ruby Rose, she's got 20 million followers on Instagram. See, now you wouldn't care that much. You definitely wouldn't approach her.
No.
Because it doesn't matter.
No. Thor, I think it'll be something funny to be like, if I just happen to be blogging and then there's Thor, maybe, but even then it's just like, it would depend on the situation. Is he playing with a dog on the beach and be super keen to maybe, like an approach? Or is he having a coffee or something with his family where he doesn't want to be interrupted, like...
I think that's, because then you're just a dick.
Yeah.
Like if he's clearly doing something, I mean, when Bex saw him, right, he's at the hospital because his kid's sick.
Yeah.
You're not gonna go.
Hey
Like,
Thor,
let
I
him do
just
his
wanted
thing.
to say you're a huge inspiration. The kid dying just there. Just be like, no.
No.
Yeah.
No. Also, that was allegedly. Beck doesn't release patient information. I mean, there was a guy with
Well, but
blonde hair.
everyone should know that. Like, if he
I'm
goes to
pretty
the
sure
hospital.
it was on the news.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, my fun fact.
Yeah. What's the fun?
My fun fact is about one of my favorite places in the world, which is Iceland.
Okay.
Iceland's...
Now you got my attention, sir, because I love Iceland and I haven't been there yet.
It's pretty cool. So you know all about the Icelandic language? You've seen things? Very difficult words.
I have an Icelandic friend.
That's rare.
Yeah, very rare.
Yeah, so it's a lot of people say the most difficult language in the world, right? It's crazy letters, long words, and the government actually wants to maintain the integrity of the Icelandic language. So when it comes to naming conventions, if two Icelandic people get together, or an Icelandic person and someone else, pretty much if you have a baby in Iceland and you want it to be a resident, you have to submit the name to the government for them to approve it. And it's got to be from a list of male and female names. And male has to be from this list of male names. Females has to be from this. And they approve it. And they decline names that either can't be spelt or they can't sound Icelandic. All these things. So I think there's like...
So you're confined to a list of names.
Yeah, I think there's about 1,800 on either male and female. So there's a fair few names, but there's situations where it's an Icelandic woman and a British man. They have a child and they're like, we're going to call it Nelson. They submit it and they're like, no, you can't call it Nelson. They're like, well,
bit fucked up,
we're calling it
isn't
Nelson. They're like, well, he's not getting an Icelandic passport then. And that happens.
That's a little bit strange, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just be like, you're confined to whatever names we have decided are the proper names for an Icelandic human.
Yeah. And the basis is on preserving, I guess, the integrity of the culture and the language, which is interesting.
I find that fun fact really good. Actually, I will applaud you for that one, Matthew, because that got me by surprise.
And guess what the most popular name is?
Definitely not Nelson.
John.
No fucking way. Is it?
I think it must be like Jean.
Yeah.
Jean.
I have a fun fact that you will like, because this is a subject that you also like very much, which is spicy shit.
I love spicy stuff.
Matthew loves spicy, just like he loves his dog. I hate spicy. I've been sort of learning how to deal with it and accept it, because most people around Australia, because of the influence of Asia, they love spicy food. So I can actually, after 4 years, sort of eat a little bit of spicy. But Matthew, he's next level. You are, when it comes to spicy food, you're LeBron James.
Not quite, but pretty good.
You're close. I'm close there.
I'm one of the other players. I'm not a star player, but I'm in the NBA.
yeah, amateur league. Did you know there's the most spicy chili in the world could kill you?
No.
And the name is Dragon Breath Chili Pepper.
I think I've heard of it. Do you know how many Scovilles it is?
What the fuck is that word mean?
Scoville is the unit they use to measure hotness.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
We're learning a third fact in here.
Yeah, I think because a Ghost Reaper is the hottest mainstream chili. Mm-hmm. And now people are actually genetically engineering stuff to be hotter.
Well, is made by a scientific dude in the UK, and they actually made it to numb the skin for some, like, as an anesthetic kind of thing for surgeries and shit. And it turned out you can't eat it, but you might die eating it.
Funny story off the back of that. So when you talk about sort of the Scoville units, you know, Tabasco sauce?
Yeah.
I think that's
hate
typically
it.
10, 20,000,
Yeah.
right? And then what's the next one? Sriracha.
Mm-hmm.
That's similar. And then a bird's eye pepper. Do you know them? The little ones? They're about 100,000. And then peppers get hotter and hotter until you get to the Ghost Reaper, which is 3 million. Right?
That's the one you tried.
No. Pepper spray is around 7 million. So that's like twice that hotness in your eye.
Yeah.
My boss went to a chili festival and met this science guy, and he's extracted the capsaicin, which is the hot ingredient, and turned it into an oil. Like, obviously oil's like a refined version, so it's not a chili paste, it's not a chili sauce, it's the oil. It's 13 million. Twice as hot as pepper spray. Well, 4 or 5 times as hot as the hottest chili in the world. And Jeff bought this little vase of it, and it's got a skull and crossbones on, like a death symbol. And
Like, you could actually die.
yeah, so the point of the oil is that you cook up, like, say, a chili con carne, and then you put a drop in.
How do you say chile con carne?
Con carne.
Is
I'm white.
Chile con carne. What the fuck is that?
Fuck off. English.
Yeah.
English. And then, yeah, you put 1 or 2 drops in an entire dish and the whole thing is fiery hot. So he's
No,
like,
thank you.
he goes, do you want to try some? So, yep, dipped in like a toothpick
Yeah.
and then just put it down my tongue. Holy fuck.
What was the next thing that happened?
I started like dry reaching. I couldn't breathe properly. The top of my mouth started burning because I put my tongue into the roof of my mouth. Then I swallowed, and I could feel it in my chest, and pretty much I could feel it burning my stomach for about 3 or 4 hours afterwards.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it was like, because it's beyond the point where it's like nice spicy.
Why would you do that?
It's
Well, you go beyond that point all the time whenever you order Indian food.
next podcast, maybe we can start it with this oil.
Oh, fuck that. No, thank you.
Give it a hit.
No, thank you. I don't
It's
want
alright.
to fuck myself over with that.
It's pretty funny.
Even just a tiny bit of sauce already fucks me over. It's just like, why do people use this? Why do they want to be in pain while having food? Food is supposed to be pleasure. Why you want to mix it with pain?
It's
like,
an
I don't get it.
experience. It literally releases endorphins.
Fuck that. It doesn't release any endorphins for me. No, for sure it doesn't.
Yeah, it's better than sex sometimes.
What? No,
Maybe.
you're fucking delusional.
I'm just trying to make
Hey,
you
Matthew. That was a great story, but I think it's time to wrap up.
Time to wrap it up, mate.
Yeah, where can people find you?
People can find me at a guy called Matty on the Instagram.
At Nelfa Life on every platform, at the Good Vibes Theory on Instagram. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, you should, because from what I've seen, we have a fair amount of listeners that haven't subscribed yet. So what the fuck are you waiting to hit that red button?
And the thumbs up button too. That's like, oh yeah, we'll keep making them. We're going to keep making them anyway. But thanks for watching, guys. 5 stars,
Yeah.
thumbs up, like, subscribe, follow. Pretty much everywhere.
Give the extra mile. That will help a lot if you go and leave a review on Apple Podcast. But that'll be it for this chili con carne.
Con carne.
Chili con carne.
How many gigabytes do you reckon this episode was?
A lot of them.
So many gigabytes.
Anyways, we'll see you on the next episode. And if no one has told you today, you're fucking awesome. You're amazing. You're beautiful. You're a hard worker. And you deserve to have anything you want.
And be happy.
Yeah. No, actually, you don't deserve it. Go fucking earn it.